Okay, my best ever con story clearly is the Sonic 4 reveal from SGC, but since we can't include SGC, I gotta talk about another con. So, hey, my favorite moment was actually a bunch of moments. At MagFest, the Shaq Fu Destructions. You might be asking, how did this start? And my answer is, I don't really remember how it started. In 2007 or 8, something along those lines, we were invited as guests to MagFest, and somewhere along the lines, Shaq Fus were brought into us. Either we invited people to bring him to us, or it was just kind of casually brought up. We're out next to the arcade. There's a ton of people around us. I mean, like, it just felt like the entire con was circling us. And eventually gets to the point where it's like, well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're going to take it in the bathroom, put it in a urinal, put a sign to it next to it that says, piss on Shaq Fu, free. And you know what? If you Google MagFest, to this day, it is the second search result in the image search. Second! I think we've made our stamp on MagFest. Obviously, the pissing on Shaq Fu was pretty high on the list in terms of how we destroyed Shaq Fu. We've jumped on them with chairs. I believe a katana was brought one year. Oh, we had a crowbar brought in. We've lit them on fire. We've literally shot them and had them explode with like little bits of C4 surrounding them. I mean, it's amazing. It's so much fun. I would love to do it at SGC. Unfortunately, being on the other side of running a convention, we will not be doing it at SGC because there is that liability, and that liability is already taken up by Keith Apicary. So, sorry. I mean, I don't really know what we could do with a copy of Shaq Fu, sort of like sending it to space or something.
A lot of mine are probably inappropriate for the viewing audience as it stands, but I do have a recent one that's actually pretty good. So Nick, Lauren, and I, we all went out to Sci-Fi Expo over in Irving earlier this year. We had to shoot some B-roll basically for that music video I hope you all enjoyed where I played Q. And we also wanted to pitch SGC to some of the congoers because it's, you know, science fiction, video games, there's a big crossover there. So I printed up 500 or so flyers, and we all headed out there. It was at the Irving Convention Center. And I kind of dropped Nick and Lauren off up at the Christopher Lloyd line because they wanted to pick up some autographed pictures.
What had happened was Nick and I were in line to actually see Christopher Lloyd, who charges way too much for his autographs, by the way. I mean, I love you, Christopher Lloyd, but damn.
Mind you, while I'm doing all this, I'm dressed like Carmen Sandiego, the android.
And for some reason, there was this really weird guy in what looked like an Inspector Gadget getup, but it wasn't very good.
I'm not blocking any doorways or really, you know, forcing people to take it. About halfway through, two guys in suits come up to me and I, you know, give the spiel. They're like, oh yeah, certainly, take the flyer. What I didn't know was they were actually the guys from the convention center managing the convention, and somehow by me giving them a flyer, it was the equivalent of admitting guilt. And within 5 minutes, I had two security guys come over to me and basically tell me that I was disrupting the flow of traffic in the deal room, and I was being asked to leave the building with my flyers. Now, mind you, Nick and Lauren are still on the 3rd floor waiting in line, so I agree with them, but basically ignore them and start going up to the 3rd floor because I need to tell Nick and Lauren, hey, they rode with me. I'm not going to be able to come back in this place.
The same guy comes back up to us and is trying to talk to us, and we're not really listening to him because we're like, oh, it's Christopher Lloyd time. Like, it's CL time. We're not listening to anybody else.
There's a dude that follows me the entire time.
And all of a sudden, like, we realize that security is behind him.
And sure enough, as I approach Nick and Lauren, I casually look behind me and notice he is still there. So I let them know that the gentleman behind me is going to ask me to leave this building very soon.
I don't know where he came from, how he got in there, who let him in here, who he belonged to, we don't know.
Sure enough, he followed me all the way till I got outside Sci-Fi Expo.
But eventually, he has to leave, followed by security. And we got to meet Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Like, Christopher Lloyd himself was, old man was slow. Old man was slow. Age got him a little bit. Like, you know, you think of Doc Brown and super, like, zany, like, off-the-wall character. I got to shake his hand, and then I got to call home and be like, Pops, Moms, brother, I met Doc Brown. Suck it. Click.
And by the time I got the car and basically was ready to come back up in, I had changed at this point. Lauren and Nick were done getting their autographed pictures and we had the B-roll we needed. So we decided to leave, and that's why I'm not really allowed back at Sci-Fi Expo.
If you are offended by people making an ass of themselves while drunk, people getting hurt, possibly disabled people getting hurt, you should not listen to the following. The names have been changed to protect the people involved, and I won't talk about what convention it was at because I've been to a lot of them. Now that that's out of the way, pop a seat and have a listen. First of all, when we go to a certain convention, my friends all get excited about it, everybody gets together, everybody plans about it, and everybody brings a lot of alcohol, okay? So, tons of alcohol has been brought to this thing, and the first night, I'm gonna say these two friends, let's call them Bob. Our other friend goes out, buys booze. We're cruising the convention, and then Bob and Johnny are like, hey, let's go see if the booze is back. So they go back up to the room. We don't see them for a while. So we're like, you know what? Let's go back up to the room. So we go up to the room. Bob and Johnny are there, looking incredibly drunk. I then find out that our friend who had picked up the booze didn't buy 80 proof SoCo. He bought a handle of 100 proof SoCo. Now you will know why the following happens. Well, we keep them in the room for a little while, and then we were like, all right, we can't obviously keep them in there all night, so let's go cruise the convention. They are making asses of themselves because they are incredibly drunk. Well, a rave was going on. Go into the rave, everybody's having fun and dancing, and then one of our friends decided to start a conga line. So, conga line begins, and the second person in line is our friend Bob. So Bob's number 2, and we're going around the whole rave, and the conga line's gotten huge. Tons of people are jumping on it. They're having fun, you know, dun 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 dun. Right? You know, the knee goes up, arms. You know how the conga works. It's snaking around the rave, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the dance floor, for some reason, is a female, handicapped little person in a wheelchair. There's a lot of momentum on this train. Friend number 1 is just like, whoa! Peels off the conga line to not run into her. Bob is incredibly drunk. First friend peels off, Bob, dun 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 dun, bam! And knees her square in the face, flipping her wheelchair and sending her sliding across the dance floor. I've never seen a conga line disperse so fast in my entire life. Everyone's like, oh shit. She had 2 people, I don't know if the 2 people were with her or if they just saw it happen. Well, my friend who is Bob, who is so drunk, he's still going, he's still congaing, and these 2 guys run up to him and they're like, whoa, 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 dude. So his drunk solution to the people doing this is he double high fives them and then dances out of the rave. We gather him and get the hell up to our hotel room. We sent somebody off to make sure the girl was okay, and yeah, at the end of the day, it turns out she was. He has no idea where he is or what's going on, and all of a sudden he just goes, why the fuck does my knee hurt so bad? And we're like, there was a female little person in a wheelchair and you need her in the face. He's like, what? And he goes and pulls up his pant leg, and there's teeth marks in his knee. Little follow-up to that story. The next year we went back and there was a giant sign posted that said, no conga lines allowed in the rave. Our bad.
Hey Advantage members, there's more Best Ever waiting for you. Just click that moving picture box and you're off to a bonus video. If you aren't an Advantage member, just click the logo there to give it a try. Use the coupon code BEST at checkout to get a free 7-day trial. And if you don't want to get an ad-free Screw Attack with a larger video player and more bonus videos, well, that's cool too.